Have you ever heard of Nightmare? Like a lot of other games in the 90s, it came with a VHS which you timed with your play. The character on the video would give you instructions on what to do while you played the game in real time. Being a scaredy cat, I refused to play it when my mom bought it for us. She brought out Raprat as a solution. It was a cheap, dingy little thing catered to kids my age. You went around the board collecting cheese, and the first player to reach the end would win. It seemed simple enough, and since it reminded us of Mousetrap, which we didn't have, there were no objections. We popped the movie into the VHS and set up the board. The first part of the video was a simple explanation of the rules as well as the instructions on how the game worked. Then, Raprat came onto the TV. He was not what any of us had been expecting. My smaller brother, who was only 3 at the time, immediately left the room crying. Raprat did not even resemble a rat. The ears were far too big. It has a mouth lined with only 2 teeth, and the inside of the mouth looked almost swollen. The most striking part about the thing, though, was its eyes. They were large, glassy, and fish-like. I asked, then begged, then pleaded for my mom to turn it off. Raprat suddenly shouted, screaming and wailing, "Wait your turn!" in a demonic, low-pitched voice that was not at all like his normal, obnoxious, nasally voice. In the background, we could hear someone saying, "He's Raprat. He's the boss," over and over again in an overly serious tone. The video was indescribable. Images crossed the screen in quick succession, overcut with Raprat's expressionless eyes. The images showed some of the things I was afraid of at the time. A person looking over a balcony. A hornet slowly stinging someone's eye. An extreme close-up of a tarantula. A pit full of writhing cobras. A bloodied syringe filled with green fluid. We immediately turned off the video, and I ran out of the room screaming, slamming my door shut. It took my mom 20 minutes to convince me that the video was gone and that I would never, ever have to see it again. I had nightmares all week about Raprat. This wasn't the last time I saw it either. While me and my girlfriend were preparing to move in together, I was cleaning out the closet of my old room and found Raprat again, with the same VHS and the same board game inside. It was almost perfectly intact, save for a thick layer of cobwebs and dust bunnies on top. I thought this was strange. Didn't my mother get rid of it? And what was the game doing in my room? I let out a bit of a gasp when I saw it. My girlfriend came into the room asking what the matter was. Breathing harshly, I said, "Raprat." She laughed a bit, asking if it was a joke, and I shook my head, explaining that it wasn't. I told her the story of what happened in my childhood, but she didn't believe me. Nobody did, and I decided that the only way to prove to her that it was real was to show her the video. I borrowed my neighbor's old VHS player and played the video for her. Oh, but the images had changed. I saw a clown, its nose bursting and spraying blood onto the screen. I saw a woman alone in a dark room. I saw a man being forced to pick up white-hot metal until his hand was a leathery mess. The scratching I heard as a child continued, picking up louder and louder, and then Raprat showed up on the screen and began twisting and convulsing, its arms thrusting this way and that. This wasn't a costume anymore. It was no longer felt. It was real fur. Its face wasn't plastic, but instead a bristle of thorns with teeth. The eyes turned inward and suddenly popped out again. Raprat's fish eyes were inside out, staring right at me, watching my every move, my every expression. It grinned wildly and gestured at me and my girlfriend with a single, outstretched, inhuman hand. I could hear the faintest scratching at my front door. The TV went blank and showed static. The scratching got louder. It wasn't scratching anymore, but thumping. Thumping of tiny feet on wood. My girlfriend embraced me in fear, and my senses kicked in. Before anything else could happen, I stopped the video, ejected it, and unplugged the VHS player. And just like that, the scratching stopped. I looked out the living room window, but nothing was there. The police showed up soon after, warning us that a neighbor had seen a figure outside the door and had called in concern. My girlfriend and I simply couldn't explain what had happened. I had to tell the officers that it was us. I was furious that a children's game was terrifying me, so I went to pick up the tape. But the VHS burned my hand. It felt like touching a Bunsen burner on the highest setting. We had to get the oven mitts from the kitchen floor to take it out. And even then, it was scorching hot. It burned the oven mitt. I brought it outside, tossed it down on the sidewalk, and crushed it with my winter boots. My girlfriend and I had nightmares every night. We would both wake up in the middle of the night and describe eerily similar images that we saw in our sleep. The scratching would always be there at night, when the lights were off and the room was pitch black, save for the moonlight coming in through the window. Now though, the scratching would happen every time I went near the front door. Every time we said Raprat's name, it sounded as if something very small was dragging something across the ground outside our door, pacing, waiting. I would simply wait, with the covers pulled up around my neck, until I succumbed to exhaustion. At this point, I was determined to sue the company for damages. The first thing I did was call my mother and ask where she got Raprat. She had no idea. I found a merchant who sold versions of Raprat and asked how I could get in touch with the company. He sent me this email.
I don't know about the game, but I know it was created by the same people who created Nightmare. The company is called A Couple of Cowboys. Try them.
I did a bit more research and discovered that the company became defunct in 1994, only 2 years after the company created Raprat. I discovered why they did soon after. Article 1. How Raprat came to be. In 1992, the year of the game's development, a couple of cowboys had commissioned a manufacturing company in Haiti to create the doll portrayed in the game. The company that created the puppet owned a sweatshop where they forced women and children to produce the various components of the doll, including the felt and plastic. One day, a young Haitian girl got her arm caught in the industrial sewing machine. The spring loader, unable to handle the weight of the machine, came loose and struck the child's neck, killing her instantly. A few days after the funeral, the mother of the child came to the factory demanding to see the owner, who denied he had anything to do with any of that. In a fit of rage, the mother said that the blood from the innocent would seep into every crevice of the doll, every component with which it was made, and all who touched it would die. She claimed to have summoned a fear demon and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Raprat will curse you!" The owner simply laughed and told his corporate bosses about Raprat. They spread the joke from person to person, and the game was renamed Raprat, a loose anagram for apparat. Each recitation of the name apparat brought with it greater and greater curse. Only 2 years after Raprat was created, the company was shut down and the owners hired by Mattel. There were stories of the workers begging for days off, skipping work for weeks and weeks, finding the puppet in strange places. Sooner were the stories of suicides, grim, violent deaths where the workers stabbed themselves and burned themselves to death, writing "I am fear" on the near surface in blood. Nobody knows where the doll went after the original creators disappeared. Some say that the last thing the victims saw before going insane were large, sunken, fish-like eyes. Article 2. Words of warning. Never, ever say apparat out loud. Saying a demon's name out loud is an invitation to summon them. A calling. If you've already done this, it cannot be undone. Do not try and speak or contact apparat. Avoid being awake between 3:30 and 4 a.m. when Raprat is most likely to try to scare you. Article 3. The audio. The VHS is back. I stomped on it, smashed it to Kingdom Come, but it's back. I found it in my sock drawer yesterday. This time, I was ready. A whole bunch of people have been contacting me trying to get the tape or some sort of video from the board game. My answer to you is that it is just too dangerous. If I did that, it could very well drive you insane, scare you to death. kill you. The video, the game, and Raprat itself is some sort of curse. It has a strange power. Raprat follows me everywhere I go. I see little shadows in the corner, or hear sounds down the hallway when I'm the only one in the house. If Raprat is there, it will let you know. It will never let you see it until it's too late. A lot of people have been watching the normal video from the normal board game, and that's the thing. Raprat can be normal. It will trick you into thinking that it's just a puppet, and then stalk you day and night.